The transatlantic slave trade stands as one of history's most profound and devastating chapters. For over 4 centuries, from the 15th to the 19th, it forcibly uprooted millions of Africans, reshaping the demographics, economies, and societies of 3 continents. To understand this monumental tragedy, one must examine its complex causes, the brutal process of capture and transport, and the enduring consequences that still echo in the modern world. As Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama declared at the United Nations, the transatlantic slave trade remains the most inhuman act ever inflicted upon a people, a crime against humanity that demands our remembrance and understanding. If you're enjoying this journey through history, please give the video a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more stories to life. The engines of inhumanity, causes of the slave trade. The transatlantic slave trade did not emerge in a vacuum. It was a direct consequence of European colonial expansion in the Americas. The discovery of the New World created an insatiable demand for labor to extract its vast wealth. European colonizers quickly established cash crop plantations, sugar in Brazil and the Caribbean, tobacco in the Chesapeake, and later cotton and coffee across the Americas. These labor-intensive enterprises required a massive workforce that could not be met by available sources. Indigenous populations, subjected to brutal forced labor and, more devastatingly, to Old World diseases like smallpox and measles, suffered catastrophic declines. On the island of Hispaniola alone, the native Taino population, once several hundred thousand strong, had plummeted to about 32,000 by 1514. European indentured servants, who worked for a set number of years in exchange for passage, also proved insufficient. The hot Caribbean climate and diseases such as malaria and yellow fever, inadvertently brought from Africa, led to high death rates among Europeans, making them a costly and unreliable labor source. Faced with this labor crisis, European colonizers turned to Africa. They believed Africans were physically better suited to hard labor and, crucially, were less susceptible to the European diseases that had decimated indigenous peoples. Moreover, the very unfamiliarity of the Americas made enslaved Africans less likely to successfully escape, unlike indigenous people who knew the terrain. The foundation of the transatlantic slave trade, therefore, was not simply racial prejudice, but a calculated economic decision born of a labor shortage that colonial powers chose to solve through the commodification of human beings. The vicious circuit, the triangular trade. The mechanism that drove this horrifying enterprise was the triangular trade, a 3-legged voyage that connected Europe, Africa, and the Americas in a continuous circuit of profit. In the first leg, European ships departed from ports like Liverpool, Nantes, and Lisbon, laden with manufactured goods, firearms, gunpowder, iron bars, textiles, and alcohol. These goods were transported to the coast of West Africa, where they were exchanged for a different kind of cargo, human beings. The weapons sold by Europeans had a particularly insidious effect, fueling internal wars and conflicts among African states, which in turn produced more captives for sale, creating a vicious cycle of violence and supply. The second leg was the infamous Middle Passage, the horrific voyage across the Atlantic that transported enslaved Africans to the Americas. Packed into the holds of slave ships, men, women, and children endured a journey of roughly 80 days in conditions of unimaginable cruelty. Once in the Americas, the survivors were sold at auction to plantation owners, becoming chattel property for life. The third leg of the triangle saw ships return to Europe laden with the products of enslaved labor, sugar, rum, cotton, tobacco, and coffee, which generated vast wealth for European merchants and financiers. The trade was a closed system of exploitation, where European guns bought African people, who produced American sugar, which was then sold back to Europe to finance the next shipment of guns. The abyss of the Atlantic, the Middle Passage. The Middle Passage was a floating nightmare, a journey into an abyss of suffering that has few equals in human history. From the moment of capture, Africans were subjected to a process of systematic dehumanization. Marched in chains to coastal fortresses known as factories, they were held in squalid dungeons before being forced aboard ships. Crews packed enslaved people onto or below decks, often giving them no space to sit up or move around. Without proper ventilation, sanitation, or sufficient water, the holds quickly became death traps. Disease, dysentery, and scurvy spread with terrifying speed. Olaudah Equiano, a survivor who later purchased his freedom, provided a harrowing first-hand account. The closeness of the place, and the heat of the climate, added to the number in the ship, which was so crowded that each had scarcely room to turn himself, almost suffocating us. The shrieks of the women, and the groans of the dying, rendered the whole a scene of horror almost inconceivable. The mortality rate on the Middle Passage was staggering. Historians estimate that between 12% and 15% of all Africans forced aboard died during the voyage itself. For some ships, the death toll was far higher. The Rhode Island, a sloop owned by the prominent Livingston family, saw 32% of its human cargo perish on a single voyage, a loss its owner coldly dismissed as an accident not to be helped. Taking into account deaths that occurred during capture and the march to the coast, some scholars estimate that only 1 in every 2 Africans initially enslaved ultimately survived to set foot in the Americas. Of the estimated 12.5 million Africans forced aboard slave ships, only about 10.7 million survived the Middle Passage. Over 2 million people were deliberately murdered by the conditions of the voyage, their bodies thrown overboard as worthless cargo. A world torn asunder, the consequences of the transatlantic slave trade were seismic and long-lasting, affecting Africa, the Americas, and Europe in profoundly different ways. For Africa, the trade was a catastrophe. It drained the continent of millions of its young, able-bodied people, with a disproportionate number being men, leaving behind a skewed gender ratio that disrupted social structures and family formation. The constant demand for captives promoted an atmosphere of lawlessness and violence, as warlords and states waged war not for territory or resources, but for prisoners to sell. The economic and agricultural development of much of Western Africa was stunted, as the fear of slave raids made farming unsafe, and the focus on the slave trade diverted labor and capital away from productive industries. The long-term legacy of this extraction is measurable today. Empirical research by economist Nathan Nunn and others has shown a robust negative relationship between the number of slaves exported from a country in the past and its current economic performance. Countries that lost more people to the slave trade tend to be poorer today, with higher rates of conflict and weaker political institutions. For the Americas, the slave trade was the engine of economic growth. The immense wealth generated by sugar, tobacco, and cotton plantations, all worked by enslaved African labor, enriched colonial powers and laid the foundation for the Industrial Revolution. The profits from the slave trade helped finance the development of banking, insurance, and shipping industries in European port cities like Liverpool and Bristol. However, this wealth came at an incalculable human cost, creating deeply stratified, racially based societies where the legacy of slavery continues to fuel social and political strife. For Europe, the trade was a source of immense profit and power. It fueled the rise of mercantilism, the economic theory that drove colonial expansion. Nations that dominated the slave trade, such as Portugal, Britain, and France, became the wealthiest and most powerful in Europe. The trade also contributed to the development of racist ideologies that sought to justify the enslavement of Africans, creating a pseudo-scientific hierarchy of races that would have devastating consequences for centuries to come. Conclusion: the transatlantic slave trade was not a peripheral tragedy but a central pillar of the early modern world. It was a system born of economic calculation and sustained by unimaginable brutality. Its causes: a labor crisis in the Americas, European military and naval power, and the tragic complicity of some African states, combined to create a monstrous engine of extraction. Its process, the triangular trade and the horrors of the Middle Passage, remains a scar on the conscience of humanity. And its consequences, the underdevelopment of Africa, the racial hierarchies of the Americas, and the vast wealth of Europe, are still with us today. To remember the transatlantic slave trade is not to dwell on a distant past, but to confront the historical roots of the present, and to recognize that the struggle for justice and equality is a direct continuation of the struggle against the gravest crime against humanity. Thank you for watching. If you found this history valuable, please like and subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective and keep the conversation going.